There we go. Because those who cannot be here tonight are going to need to hear this. So again, I'm starting at the bottom left corner with the audio button. As I'm talking, I've got this green fluid going up and down in my microphone, and I love that because it tells me that I'm talking. So that leave computer audio is a very important function of Zoom. See what happens when you hit the leave computer audio? You didn't hear me for a little bit. So in your meetings, in your hybrid setups, in my room, for example, I have one computer, one laptop that's hooked to a speaker that's attached where we can have our speaker with a microphone and we can hear. All the other computers in the room are leave computer audio so that you don't get that feedback. All right. The next button to the right of the audio, bottom left-hand corner again, is the video button. On the count of three, I want everybody to tap that video button and we're going to see what happens to our screen. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Where'd everybody go? Everybody's camera is turned off. I see Jeanette. I see. Okay, turn them off. I want to see them off. I don't want to see your face right now. All right. Now, if you see, there's a few people that have images. That's because they set up images in their admin account. I don't have one, but there we are. We're all dark. How about that? And we can see the names. Now, on the count of three, let's click that button and turn our cameras back on. 1, 2, 3. All right. Good job, everyone. To the right of that video button, there is a caret, another arrow that you may find to be helpful at some point because there's a few functions in there like blur my background. That allows if you're in a room and you have stuff all behind you and you just want to blur your screen. It looks like Rupesh has his on blur. Timothy, do you have yours on blur? Yep. See what happens? It just makes this pretty picture of the mess behind you. You can always select that. The next one is adjust background and effects. This is a feature that allows you to set your virtual backgrounds. You can pick avatars and make your face look funny and do all kinds of things with that function. If you can, you all can click on that right now if you want to do background and effects, and you can look around in there. There's a video button that you might not use very much. If your light is off or something doesn't look right, you can go into the video tab. The next tab is virtual backgrounds. This is where you can adjust these. You can add as many as you want. You can take an image of your own and save it. And then there's a plus sign that allows you to add whatever images you want to have on there. So like for timing's sake, we have red backgrounds and yellow backgrounds and green backgrounds. And then if I feel like showing off my own photography, I might throw a picture in there where you can see something that I took a picture of and I'm quite proud of. How about that? One trick for you people who don't like to have your cameras on, but you don't want to be seen because you might be sticking something in your mouth. If you have the option of a tab on your camera, you can buy those. Some cameras have them, or you can take a piece of tape or a piece of paper. And look what happens when you cover your camera. You have this nice, pretty background. You look like you're still there, but you might be sticking something in your mouth. It's a cool trick. I like to use it when I walk away or when I have to take a drink or something along those lines. You're still there, but you have a pretty background in the back. And sometimes when you're doing the timing, it's good to do this because then your face is not in the middle of the screen. So that's a one little tip. And then right after virtual backgrounds in your tabs, there's this cute little thing called avatars. Some people really like to have fun with those avatars. You can do that now if you'd like. Click on one and we can all be something corny. Cindy's a cute little spotted something. Is anybody else gonna play? I see Rupesh is playing. Anybody else? David?
Rakia, mine doesn't show. It says I have to create an avatar. That's all it shows.
Really?
Yeah, under avatars, and then I go under the video filters and everything else that are under there. They all say none.
Now, did you just log into the meeting or I think you told me you don't have a Zoom account. Is that the case?
Yeah, but I have I didn't join from just the web browser. I did download the Zoom workplace client.
Okay. Well, there's a couple reasons why those might not be there. Does anybody else here have it shows that you need to add them? Because I'm not sure whether that's
I had a download real quick, but it happened pretty instantaneously when I went to first select the animal, and it made me download, but it didn't like download an executable or anything. It just took a second.
Well, mine just says I have to sign in now to be able to do that.
right. Yes, you do have to sign into Zoom.
Oh, well, I would have to know then my user ID and password, wouldn't I?
That helped.
Yeah, Zoom does not make that easy where it saves it. All you have to do is tell it. It doesn't do that. At least on their desktop client, it doesn't. Well, I just wanted to give you that quick tour of the avatars. And then next to that is video filters, which I saw Cindy playing with those, but that puts something around your screen or gives you some sunglasses. A lot of times, if you want to throw somebody off on their speech, just, do something crazy like put on one of those video filters and lighten up the mood of the meeting. You have a lot of control that I think a lot of people don't realize how much fun you can have in Zoom if you just step outside of that box of staring at everybody. Okay, and then Studio Effects allows you to change your eyebrows, add a mustache and beard. I have lip color on. I mean, you can do all kinds of neat things to your personal characteristics. All right, now I've covered the audio button, the video button, and on the next one might be participants. Cindy, did you have a question?
Yeah, what was the thing that you hit that when it looks like you are there, but you can take a drink or whatever?
I covered up my camera.
Oh, do I have to have a special something else for that though? Because otherwise.
Well, your finger's not gonna work, but like I used to use tape, but tape you gotta be careful because you don't want the adhesive to get all over your lens. They sell these little camera covers in the store too that can cover them up as well.
Okay,
but I think it does work better when you have a virtual background on.
Oh, that makes more sense. Okay. I knew I was missing a step in there. Thank you.
Rick, did you have a question? Rick Nimtz?
Yes, more of a comment. The covering your camera doesn't work when you have a green screen.
Okay, you already done that.
Yeah, so if I'm using a green screen, so it's it's a fake background. So if I cover myself, then there's no background to come through.
You are correct. So remember that for the people who have green screens. I don't have that. I can't teach about green screens. I don't have one. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, the next icon next to, we went through audio, we went through video. The next one is participants. Now this is a neat little feature that if you are a co-host, to me it's mandatory to always click participants, but as a a guest, you would click on participants, and what it does is it lists everyone that's in the meeting on the left side, right side of your screen. And you can sometimes organize those, whether you want them in alphabetical or how they've joined the meeting, but that's one of those things that might be based on your particular Zoom. But like it'll show you the name, and then there's there's a microphone and a camera. If you look on your participants now, you will see my microphone. I've got a gray button going up and down. It's indicating that I'm talking. And the little white picture with the red dot in it, that is a cloud. That's telling you that we're recording to the cloud. The next microphone, if it's got a red line in it, it means that that person is muted. And then you've got the cameras on and cameras off. Can you share screen while you talk? So that's where I want you to see on your screen what the participants window will do. The other thing about the participants window is if you've got someone that's calling you, they're saying, hey, Sam, I need to get into the meeting. Can you help me? And you don't want to interrupt the host. There's an arrow next to the participants window. If you click on it, I want you to click on these things and you'll see invite and you'll see copy invite link. You can copy that link and put it in an email and send it to them. That's the best way to do it. Sometimes you can, if you're on a phone, you can do it that way too. But that's one of the other features that's in there. Invite, if you're using your own Zoom account, it pops up another window that allows you to send the invite through your email within Zoom. So either way, you can copy the invite link and send it to someone, or you can hit that invite and do the same thing. The next button is chat. I'm going to have fun with this one. If you click on chat, it will take your side screen on the right and it'll split. You'll have the top part is your participants. The bottom part is chat. If you clicked on participants when we were talking about it before. Cindy, do you have a question? Your hand's raised. Okay, and I see Timothy commented that your chat is in the more selection. Sometimes based on the size of your screen, sometimes you can't find things. You go to that more and there's where it is. Now chat is where you can go in and you can talk to people. You can talk to, if the host has all the control on, so you can talk to any and everybody, you can type something in the chat. So let's all put in the chat your favorite ice cream. I want to see everybody fill up the chat with what their favorite ice cream is. Ooh, look at that, every flavor. Oh, see, the chat's moving. This is great when you want to have fun. It's not so great when you're supposed to be paying attention. So if you're in a meeting, so that your host and co-host don't have to turn off the chat, be respectful. But a lot of times this comes in handy, and it's important that you know how to put it on your screen so that you can see it. Rick has a question. You're on mute, sir.
Yes, so I know how the chat thing works, but at the end, well, let me ask you this. I was in a chat, had a thing set up like this, and I accidentally left the session for which I was the host before I recorded. Can you set chat to record while it's occurring, or is it only be able to record it at the end?
Can you, okay, what? You said
What I
chat,
wanted to do was save the information that was in the chat.
okay.
I know how to do that at the end, and just go to that file icon down at the bottom. But is there some way you can set it up to record as you're going on? Because if I leave, then there's no way to recover that.
There is in your admin settings that when you go to zoom.us, there is a feature in there that you can save your meeting chats. That's the way I have mine, and to where whenever I'm in any Zoom meeting, if I get off the meeting and they're allowing you to record, the chat is not where you can't locked or anything, I get a message asking me where I want to put it.
And so I'd have to have the Zoom license to do that.
So Zoom has, you don't have to have, I don't think you have to have a license. I don't know. I
Yeah.
know that's that's a possibility in the admin settings to do that.
Okay.
That's where I have it. Thank you to all of you who were putting in the ice creams of your favorite ice creams. We could set up a whole store. We got a plethora of flavors over there. For the sake of time, I'm going to tell you how we're going to have this meeting set up. My goal is for us to take the 90 minutes that we have and split it up. We're going to do 25 minutes of Zoom, 25 minutes of Free Toast Host, 25 minutes of Canva, and then have a little wiggle room for questions and comments. So with that being said, I'm going to do one more thing, and then I'm going to let my next person talk about things. This is a way we wanted to do it this way instead of doing breakout rooms, because if you wanted to learn all three, well, then you couldn't do it. So we're going to cover it this way. The next feature I would like to see everyone try is, let's see on this one, is the raise hand feature. Now, again, if you don't see it on the bottom, then click on your more, you should be able to find it. Oh, look at that. I think everybody's got it. Let's see. Now, is everybody hearing a little sound when the hand goes up, or is that just the host? I hear a little popping sound. All right, well, it looks like, is there anybody who, okay, hands down. If you don't know how to lower your hand, you should be able to, there's a lower hand button, or you hover your mouse over to the boxes and there's a lower hand there. All right. Now I'm going to lower my hand. Cindy, do you have a question? You don't know how to raise your, do you know how to lower it? Okay, she got it. Gary, do you have a question, or you need help lowering your hand?
I'm trying to teach people what not to do. I don't even know how that's happening. I already lowered it. That's so
You
weird.
might have had your hand up. Now you might have been,
Oh.
you did this. I saw your hand somewhere. It might be
Oh.
reading your hand.
Okay,
host-
I'm sorry. I'll try and be better.
That's all right. I appreciate it. I need a little entertainment. So you're doing great. Gary, I still see your hand. Do you know how to lower it, or are you just, do you have a question? Don't know. Okay. Well, that is going to conclude my lesson. I will give you a few minutes to, if you have some questions about anything that we've talked about today, feel free to put it in the chat to me, or at the end of this meeting, there is a survey where you can tell me what else you'd like to learn. I want to pack as much as I can in this time frame, and I have also made myself to where if this becomes something that we need to have more than once a month, that's why it's Thursdays, because Thursdays is when I can do that. So, oh, I hear. What does AI Companion? Real quickly, I'll tell you. AI Companion is a feature that I turn it on, and to me, it's hilarious to read what it's saying. But basically, it's like a computer that's listening to what we're saying. And at the end of the meeting, it makes it like this summary where we can talk, you can read about what all was said throughout the meeting. It's really fun to me. People think it's creepy, but AI is here. It's not going anywhere. We might as well learn to use it and embrace it instead of being afraid of it, because we cannot stop it from its existence. Okay, well, I'm going to wrap up. Again, if you have any questions, we'll save some of them for the end if we have time, or put them in the chat to me. I'm Rakia Bacon. And now we're going to turn it over. I'm going to turn control over to David Klopfenstein, my buddy and partner in crime, who's going to talk to us about Free Toast Host.
That's scary, turning over control. I don't. Good evening, everyone. I'm David Klopfenstein. I'm with the District 11, also with District 48, which is in Florida. So I'm a member of 2 clubs, and I'm also your district website manager. And notice I say website manager. There's a reason I'll say that, and I'll mention it later on. I want to introduce you to Free Toast Host. I'm going to put in the chat a PDF file that I've created with my notes so that you'll have exactly what I'm talking about, but also some references will be there for you to use. Is everybody hearing me okay so far? Good? Okay. I'm getting some feedback. I don't know why, but it's like air movement. Weird. Anyway, by a show of raised hands, how many of you use Free Toast Host currently? Let's see if you learned her lesson, raising your hand. So far, it's only a small number, apparently. Okay. Okay. I do want to put a disclaimer out. I don't know it all. And I always learn something from everybody. So if you have something as we're talking to put input, please do so, because that's how we'll learn. Basically, tonight it's an introduction to Free Toast Host for those that have not used it or are not really familiar with it. I've used some links in my handout to help you to go, and we'll mention that as we go along. Starting out with, why do we want to use Free Toast Host? I'm a firm believer in promoting my club, promoting my district in any way I can do it, and for free. If I can do it for free, I will do it. So Free Toast Host is free. Now, some people may not like it in some of the restraints that they may have, or they're just because they don't know how to use it. And that's a possibility. I was that way at the beginning, but I just took it on and I said, you know what, I'm going to try and learn this. And I learn, I make errors, but what the cool thing is I learn from other people's websites. I'll go to websites and I'll say, that is a cool idea. I wonder how they did that. And if I can figure it out, I will. If not, I sometimes will contact that person and say, how did you put that in there? And then they'll show me, and then I can use it for my own. So that's pretty cool. Paid, there is some paid hosting sites out there. If any of you use those, of course, if you're more familiar and can do that, great. But again, Free Toast Host is very professional. It's done by Toastmasters. They're always there to support us. They have, if you have questions and not sure how to do something, you can always ask them, and their people that maintain that site are always available, and they'll come back to you. And that's the nice thing about it. So as you look at, if you look at the handout that I gave you, as far as what's the difference between free and paid, well, the pro, obviously, if it's free, it may be small personal project with low traffic type budgets, no upfront cost. However, with Free Toast Host, this really is a professional organization that runs Free Toast Host. I love it. There are some limitations, and that's understandable. There's some features that I don't even use with it, but again, it depends on your club. So I see Jan's having trouble with her audio. So I don't know if anybody can help with that. Saw it in the chat there.
I'll work on it.
Okay, thank you. So at the beginning, as far as Free Toast Host, it's free for clubs. And you wonder, well, how can you get started? Actually, there is a link that I've in there indicated on the handout to request a Free Toast Host website for your club. You go to that, you put in your information, and they will set up a link for you. And then they have some tutorials and things that you can go through. What I found is a big resource is YouTube channels and that. If there's something that needs to be done and you can't find it through Free Toast Toast, or if you can't get with somebody else, that is available at all times. Again, as I mentioned, support is a big factor. Now, I've also included a 1- and 2-part as far as setting up your website, and it's by a distinguished Toastmaster. I'm sorry that I can't pronounce his name. It's in your handout, but it's called Tech for Toastmasters. That is a very valuable resource that I go to many times. This man is phenomenal in what he has produced. Numerous videos on YouTube, but Tech for Toastmasters. I've actually included it on my website to help. And that's one of the things I do with my websites is sometimes I'll put links to presentations, to support. That way somebody goes to the website, one of my members or somebody else, and they say, oh, wow, where can I go to that? And they have that link already available to them, or sometimes I'll promote that. So I just want to show that. Now I want to share my screen. Let's see what happens. I'm going to use the new technology. Now, since I can't see myself, hopefully I'm looking all right. Is that
We see you.
okay?
You're kind of big and up covering up the left side, but we can see you.
Oh, I am? Okay. I remember from your thing what I can do to fix that. I can actually edit my little picture while we're talking. And fixed it.
There you
I
go.
can, right? I made myself smaller. This is one of the cool features of Zoom. I've noticed it's like almost like a PowerPoint presentation built in. So you can show your screen. I happen to pick this website because I know the person that does it. This is actually Rakia's, for those that don't know, club. And I believe one of your members is here tonight too, right? That works with this or not?
One of my
Okay.
members is here, but she's not she
Oh,
works
okay.
with Free Toast Host, but not the website.
Okay, I got it. All right. Now they decided to put a video right on their front screen, which is great. You know, to kind of invite people and tell a little bit about what's going on with Toastmasters. They have a background, they have colors, and I know this is a work in progress for them because they have a new person that's kind of working with this and they're changing up some things. But it's important just to kind of, when I look through different websites, and what I look for as far as for the district, I try to encourage our clubs to have a link to our district website. Now, I know some places they haven't done it yet. I've put that request out for a couple of years now, but maybe because they don't know how. I can send them the information to do that, but that's okay. And the reason I had mentioned that is because here is a free service that you can use to promote your club, your members. So try to use that. Yes, Gary, you have a raised hand? It was just testing. It worked. So it's good to have information. Now you notice basic layout, main menu, logins, members only. This actually can be changed. So if it's just not one column, it can actually be 2 columns, one behind the other. Yes, Gary, you have a question?
I put up and put lower hand is still up.
You trying to lower it or?
I says lower hand up. This
Okay.
raised hand now. I don't know what's going on.
That's okay.
I'll go back.
So the main menu where it lists, this is pretty much a generic setup. They've added a few things here. And one thing I always look at, their meeting information. It's nice that, okay, tells about where they're meeting. It's always important. Obviously, you want people to come to your club, how to contact you, things of that nature. So good to have the meeting information, directions, and any links you want to put in there. Some have maps, have phone numbers, good information like that. To contact you, who do you have that you want to be contacted in case they have questions? You can put that information in here. They've decided the membership president, immediate past president. And they'll all get that information. And one thing I want to encourage on this is you get somebody responding, try to get with them within 24 hours. That makes a difference. I've had some clubs that just, I've tried to contact them. I never hear back from them. I don't know if the link's not working, the person's just not responding. That kind of shows on that club to say, are they really paying attention then to their website? Are they really interested in getting help? So that's good. Meet our members. Some clubs decide to do this, some have not. I think it's great to have, definitely your officers should be listed. Because then that shows an active club is going on here. One thing I want to point out too is some people put in Facebook, LinkedIn, other resources. Again, this is a free service. You can use it to promote yourself, your business, your club. Within reason. I mean, some people can get a little ridiculous about how much they're promoting, but again, it's all a benefit. So they've got a good number of members here listed with pictures, some without. Bio information is a great idea. Talks a little bit about why they're part of this club or why they're in Toastmasters, or maybe it's part of their business, they can promote that. Free advertisement. Then there's also club calendars. Some clubs decide to put that information in there and use that extensively. I don't for mine. But it's just matter of personal preference. It's always nice to see if you got special events going on. Go ahead and put that information in there. Public downloads. It's a resource that you can put in there for the public or just for your members. You can choose however you want to do that. But again, it's a resource. Like you have new members wanting to find out about something, you can give that information there. How to join. This one, they have speech ideas. Anything under general? And features and benefits of Toastmasters. Usually these are PDF files that you can download then. So Gary, do you still have a question or?
Hand and goes back up to raise hand. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Okay. Here's one thing I want to note, and I'm glad that Rukia's Club does this. They actually link to their Distinguished Club Performance Report. It's a direct link to TI that'll automatically update. That's a good reference for their members to see what is their goals, where are they at? Do they need some new members? This is probably not current because TI obviously is updating a lot of information as far as training and members on that. This is August. You think they would be up to date. So maybe this club just doesn't have any people working on certain particular levels yet that have completed. Right?
It's up to date.
Okay. All right. So it's up to date. The neat thing is like you can see where they're chartered, how long they've been around, how many members they have. It gives a lot of good information here. I'm going to go to one of my clubs, Lunchtime. So a little different background, different color scheme, which is you can change it up as much as you want. We created a logo for the background. And I do want to make note in here about brand compliant. It's important that you be careful sometimes when you are using it. Now at the club level, they can do stuff with colors and fonts and stuff like that. As long as they don't get too wild about it, I think it's okay. But you try to stay brand compliant as far as what Toastmasters color schemes and things are. And there is a link here that I've included for that so that you can see what they have as far as specific colors and that. But again, Free Toast Host allows you to make some variances in colors and that. So again, just look at it and play with it and have fun. This one, I decided to list our officers right up front. So that way, at a glance, you know who our officers are and who you'd want to contact at any time. Sometimes I'll include events going on. I decided to use the one here about pathways so that if somebody wants to learn about pathways, it's a link directly to TI. I use some other background information, a quote from one of our past international presidents. And then down at the bottom here, these are generic that comes with each of the free toast hosts so that it has their own little pages already for you, which is kind of a nice feature. And they're kept up to date. So that's a good thing to have there. Now you'll notice on my left side, main menu is in one column, but then members only is actually behind it. So it's a different format, and that's okay. Again, whatever works, whatever layout. Social media links, you can put in multiple media links for your club, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever you have for your club. District levels, I actually have 2 districts listed here. I have District 11 and I have District 48. And you probably say, well, why did you put District 48? Well, that's my other district that I'm part of, but again, I try to promote other clubs, other districts, because there's some good information out there available. So I link to them, they link to me, gets more traffic back and forth. So that's how I use Free Toast Toast. And let's see, whatever else we wanted to go over. And my notes good first. Okay, I think we're doing good on time. One thing I've also put in, like I mentioned earlier, is these different links. I put in these links to help. Here's like Tech for Toastmasters. So when you click on that link on that website, takes you directly to that YouTube channel that I was talking about. A great resource to utilize for Free Toast Toast and other things. He does phenomenal stuff for Canva, for PowerPoint. This guy's all over the place. It's quite amazing. He's got an extensive history here, so that's a good resource. Very professionally done. And another thing I've done is I've linked, some videos, some resources. Now there's a couple ways of doing it. You can keep doing this on the side here with the menus, like I have on this particular website. Or you can do what I recently updated on this particular website is I put down, what did I do? Sorry. Toastmasters. One second. What did I do? Sure, I'm on the right one. Videos of special interest. If your menu is getting a little too long, then I've made a separate page for just videos. And then the videos are on that page. And we can go into that later on as to how to do that. But just to kind of give you an overview of what it looks like. And then that way you can click on individual ones and it'll display for you. I just happened to put Craig there at the top there because he's been involved with our districts. Kind of cool stuff. Stop sharing. So that's a general overview of what we're kind of looking at right now, I think time-wise. Any questions right now at the moment that you might have?
David,
Yes, Timothy.
we once had a Free Toast Host site for our club, and I don't know when we last used it. I found it to be a little bit cumbersome at that time, but I can't find it anywhere. And does it just drop off after a period of time, or do we have to just create a whole new Free Toast Host for our club?
Unless somebody went in and told them to deactivate it, I would think the history would be somewhere there, but it is a possibility that maybe they do. I'm not sure on that part, because I know when you want to go deactivate it, you can send it to support and they will take it off.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be just as well to have to restart.
Okay.
That'd be a good idea. It'd be nice though if you had history there, right, that you're trying to bring back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a good question. that would be one to actually ask support. If you have a question and say, hey, I had a website at one point, and if you remember what the link was, they may somehow archive that information enough to help you with that. But I definitely ask them unless somebody else knows the answer. Yes, Rick?
Well, I have a question about a part that I didn't see. Well, I guess you did part of it. When I review clubs that are having troubles, a lot of times the problem is that the website, this website, does not match the contact information on international. Is there any way to connect those two so that we only have to maintain it in one place?
So that's like if you go to, if I understand the question, you go to TI and you click on the link there, it doesn't go to their
No,
club?
you go to TI and you go to Club Central and you click the contact information.
Right.
That shows something completely different than what's in Free Toast Host. Maybe because no one's maintained Free Toast Host and they've maintained the other, or back and forth. Is there any way to get those things synchronized aside from being in the mind of whoever is the owner of the website for your club?
I think it's on their, because I believe, if I understand it correctly, it has to be one of the officers of the club that have access to that link and they'll to change that information. Does that sound correct, everybody?
Yeah,
I think TI is not going to like make them link together because they don't like promote it. So you would have to have your VPM or somebody else update them on both sides. And
Okay.
the members might be able to change it, but I believe that's an admin control.
Well, my observation is quite a few have not updated one or the other because I can't tell when I'm evaluating a club. I can't tell which one is right. All I know is a lot of times when I make that call to one number, either it doesn't go through or no one gets back to me. So that's like you said at the beginning, it's a very important piece. The other thing is, and this I've gotten feedback from guests where the club is on there and it'll say things like, here's our next meeting, and that's 3 months ago. And the guests just walk right by that. And so it's like any other website. It has to look like at least it's being kept up to date because otherwise they think there's no attention is being paid.
That's true. Yeah, that has been a common thing. Is like, when was the last time somebody's looked at this and updated? And sometimes I even find that in the Facebook links too. I've noticed, and that could be because somebody forgets. It's like, oh yeah, we need to keep that updated because I know, like for my club, you kind of mentioned, hey, we need to put something on here a little more current, picture wise or activity. So that's a good point. Yeah, maintain. If you're going to maintain the website, keep maintaining it, and that shouldn't be just one person. It'd be nice to have several people involved in your club because not only that, it promotes them that maybe they want to do this next year, or you have a backup person in case something fails. It's always good to have several people involved in that. So yes, maybe I maintain the website, but I actually have other people that have access to it in case something, for God happens to me. At least they can do that and share that information with them. So that's a good point. You know, you're going to do it, keep it active. I mean, otherwise, why bother? Because then somebody said, well, obviously that club ain't doing anything. And that website's years past or crazy. So thank you for that.
I would like to add that the one thing I like about Free Toast Hosts, and this is something that I don't remember when they did it, but I remember it being a great thing. It is a great tool for helping you keep up with your members and how they're giving speeches, when they're giving speeches, and it also allows them to put their intros for their speeches, the titles of their speeches, and it has all of the levels, all of the pathways is already downloaded in there where you could set your agendas up to where they can go to the website and put in their speech and all that good stuff to where, 5 months down the road, I gave a speech, but I don't remember when. Well, if your secretary or VPE or one of those people are putting that in there They can always find it. It's really cool to see how many speeches you've done. You can look the whole term of your Toastmaster year if someone's keeping up those records.
There's actually now a new format for pathways. If I remember somebody in one of the training sessions mentioned that you can do digitally. Does that sound right?
What's that?
A digital, some kind of digital thing where you're tracking pathways for your members, and you could show that on your website for them. I'm trying to remember.
I'd love to see that. One other thing I just want to mention here that there's this whole member management module that you haven't gotten into, but we found it tremendously useful for tracking our guests. Because you get that guest information card, where do you put the information? It doesn't belong in a spreadsheet in maybe your VPMs or your VPPRs. Put it right on there. We now have, if we ever do an open house, we can invite people that have been guests and haven't done anything more for the last 4 or 5 years. And according to the ones that have had the most successful open houses, they use that as a primary source, re-inviting people who are guests in the past. So I just did that if you ever go into the administrative functions, take a walk through the member management components.
The treasurer report is awesome too. You can send out renewal notices to all your members without having to dues are due, dues are due, dues are due.
So there's many features available, some that I don't even know about yet. I mean, that's like the treasurer and that. Hopefully my treasurer does that, so that's great. So for future training sessions and that, we will want to know from you, the audience, what is it you're particularly looking for assistance or general knowledge? That'll help us and help me, especially if I have to do research and look at, okay, this is kind of what they're looking for, then we can present that to you, because that's what this is about. It's about helping you and coming up with ideas. And definitely, if you know something about this information, then please share it with us. That's how we'll learn. I'll learn too. So I try to keep that as an open forum at all times with my training sessions like this. So I appreciate your time and effort being here. I know it's kind of evening times, like, but we try to keep it interesting for you. So that's the basics that I wanted to cover tonight on my section. So again, turn it back to Rakia.
Great job, David. Oh, how about everybody go down there and hit that react button and select one of those icons on there and send them something on the screen. We're in Zoom. Let's play a little bit. Good job, David. I didn't talk to you about reactions, but that's one of those features on there that you can help people be encouraged. All right, Hillary, are you ready to take the reins, my dear?
I am. Thank you, Rakia.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Welcome to my portion of today's meeting. And here we're just going to chat a little bit about Canva. Canva is just a graphic design software and pretty user-friendly. And kind of what got me started on it. My sister actually is doing her own, home baking cookie business. And so I got into Canva to help make promotional flyers for her. She takes photographs of her cookies and then I import them into the flyers. I also work with ChatGPT to come up with, witty quips about the cookies. And that's what got me started on this path. And since then, I've been able to use it for Toastmasters with our open house and just general club promotion.
Hillary, you're
Here we
muted.
go. Yes.
Yeah, we can't hear you, honey.
Okay. Sorry, had a moment because I have a shameless plug of promoting my sister's cookies on Instagram, just to follow. That's all you got to do. don't have to buy anything. But that's my shameless plug. But back to Canva and what we're going to do with it. So for Toastmasters, we can use Canva to create either event flyers, we can create social media posts, and just some real basic things to really get the message that you're an active club out there. So with Canva, we are going to start this, given that you may have already opened it, so you can follow along on your computer if you want, or I've got mine open here to kind of walk you through some of these basic things that you're going to see in the software, just the user interface. Now, one of the things I preface with is before you really get into Canva, spend a few minutes preparing for what you want to make. Get your data available. If you're going to have an event, do you know the address, the time, any other important information that do they need to register? So that information is ready to go on there, unless you're just in the mood to play around and set templates up, because you can do that too. But when it comes time to execution, just be ready with your documentation. I like to have it electronically so I can cut and paste it into Canva. So with that, we're going to mess around with social media. We're just going to play around with, how to navigate within Canva. This is the open home screen. And a lot of what we'll do is here on the left side, but it just scrolls down and you can see, actually, this is a whole bunch of my past stuff. Ooh, see all kinds of things. My 1-year wedding anniversary. Actually did, photos of us and did a collage. We'll get back to home. So all kinds of stuff in Canva. But we're going to mess around with social media. And here on social media, it's going to give you a couple of choices. Again, know where you're going. My club is active on Facebook. We don't use Instagram and we don't use LinkedIn. So we could click on Facebook. And again, it's going to give you a few more choices to help narrow down the kind of shape it will produce in the end. As we go through these guys, we're just going to I got to move you guys out of the way. Okay, an event cover. Because we're going to make an event, on Facebook, you might make an event for your club meetings. My club does. But this can be used as that banner at the top for the event. So how do we make it personal? How do we make it Toastmastery? So we could come over here and type in keywords into the search. And actually, we'll see what happens if we type in Toastmaster. Nothing. So it's not a very in-depth choice, but say, like, what month are we in? We're in August. So say we're going to advertise for September, and we'll theme it to the weather. Ooh, fall trees. And now it's going to give me a whole bunch of templates with fall trees in the theme. So we're just going to select one. And I do want to point out before I get too into this, that here within all these little samples, you'll see there's this little crown that says Pro, because there's a free version and there's a paid version. So while you do see all the stuff you can buy, and I don't think I've ever figured out how to get the filters to turn it off. Like, because you could select it, but you just can't print it. So just keep that in mind when you're searching
Lori?
through, to keep an eye out for the little crown. Yeah.
Is there a way for you to make your screen larger?
Let me see. That part or in general?
No, in general.
Why don't you click on those three dots and change your screen where it takes off all those banners and things?
Yeah.
Down where it says Zoom, hit the arrow. No, go up.
That?
Yeah, that shows your,
That's
no,
the,
no, not that one. I meant the one in your Google settings. The three
can
dots
hit
up right
Control
there.
Shift B.
And am I telling her right, Rupesh?
Control Shift B should remove the bookmarks bar.
Control Shift V.
there's a few less.
And you can hit the magnifying glass on the website address bar onto your left. Yeah, the magnifying bar. Yep. And increase the size.
No,
Oh.
that's. I think there's,
I don't
If you-
know. I don't,
if you
I'm
click,
sorry. No, I don't have time to keep working on this.
Right.
This is something we have to figure out next time.
yeah, I'll tell you how to do it. Go ahead.
Good feedback though, so that's interesting to learn.
For you on Zoom, how about this? For you on Zoom, if you move your slider, move your mouse in between her picture, you can make your screen bigger on your side. You hover your mouse where the little white dots are around on the right edge of her image, you can drag it out and make it bigger. There you go, Hillary.
Okay. Let's see, we were on free versus paid, so I've selected just something free to just kind of give a test run for. We just grabbed a template. It comes with some text added. It's got these little images added. And this can get us started with what we need. So if we're just doing something to advertise, come visit us. It's text like any other text in any other platform. You select it and you type over it. Visit us. Zip. Ooh. And then of course you can see how it's in the frame. September. Stretch. Stretch. And you can move it all around. So these are separate line items. Visit us in September, music and art. They're different fonts, they're different sizes, they're different colors. And you can control all of them individually. And as you select them, when you come up here to the top, this is your kind of like your command line that will prompt you to what you can do with what you have selected. So right now I have text. I can change the font style, and there's plenty to choose from. I can change the size, make it bigger, smaller. I can type in the number I want. Here's where we change color. This is a very handy one. And one of the things we do with this, which actually I'm going to have to. Here we go. Toastmasters. And the reason I grabbed him and I'm gonna make him small and out of the way. Is because he's gonna give me something I want. Color. So what I can do now that I've added in something that's official to Toastmasters is I can steal the color off of the image. So it's got blue. It's got the red. It doesn't seem to have the yellow, but that's also where I can grab just other Toastmasters images. I usually have the little globe. That's got the yellow in it. But that, again, that's the control you have in here. You can easily change size by just dragging. You don't even have to go up here to this. And you may notice that as I wiggle this around, again, if size is an issue here with my view, it'll be interesting to see what you see. But I get crosshairs about what it's aligning to. So if I move it here, I can see I'm center. And I've got a little pink line that says the center of my square is in the center of my frame, which comes in really handy. You can also line it up to line up your text from this to this. So it's relatively smart in giving you options. So we've covered the text, the color, anything from alignments, left, right, bullet pointing, spacing. The spacing is a good one when you have multiple lines, because again, it's the same line spacing concept as you have in Word. It's just how much space in between the lines. That's actually, I would say, one of the features along with color that I mess with a lot. Effects. Effects, since we're in fonts, really a lot of neat things. You can curve your words, you can make them neon, all little basic things. And then, of course, back to none. And I don't animate anything, so I have nothing to cover there. But position. This is another key takeaway for what's important in Canva. So here in positions, and this one doesn't necessarily matter. So, okay. So I've got my word visit, right? If I move it over here, you'll notice, hopefully, that it went behind the leaves. Maybe I want that, maybe I don't. Well, if I don't, what do I do about it? So that's where position comes in. Position here. You got two choices. There's a range and then there's layers. Don't mess with the range much because I've just learned to play with what I want here in layers. And you'll see these are actually representations of each element that is inside my square. And from bottom to top is what order they're in within the square, because you see that the visit here and here is below the leaves, which are up here, here, and here. And as I select each item, it highlights it within my working space. So I want my visit to come in front. I just move it up here, manually drag it, and now my visit's on front. And if that's one of the main things I want you to take away from this is remembering that, because when you lose pieces, because you might have like a big block of something in the way and it just got hidden behind there. So that is, in my opinion, one of the big takeaways. Templates, we've got fonts, images. So this is a stock image from their resources, but you can also drag and drop in your own images. What are your own images? And then you'll see here, I just started with a template. And go back to uploads. That guy. Where is? Waiting. There we go. There it is. Now I get all the clothes. Toastmasters globe. Here, up in the corner. Again, branding. So I like the style. It's got pretty shapes and it has what we call frames. So again, everything just drags, moves around. And over here in elements, over on your left-hand side, is where you'll find all the little doohickeys you can add in. This little guy. What is he? He's got little hands, he's holding a heart, he came with a template. You can find all kinds of random stuff to drop in. But I do want to point out frames. So these kind of frames are what's used to house pictures. So if you've got your own image, you can just drag it in, take your image, any image, and just, it literally just drags and drops right in. Does everybody get that? And then if you want to take the image out, I've selected my object, I've selected the frame, and I right click, and it's detach image, and it comes right back out. Delete it. This guy, detach this image, put it in there, see how it plays in different shapes, things like that. So you can find on Toastmasters.org somewhere, don't ask me where, stock footage images of people hanging out, people giving speeches. I've used that with our open house and stuff like that. I was very particular to kind of use their own images or I would use my own club images. Frames, items, fonts, borders, getting color from the images. Okay, downloading. So say we like our image and we're ready to send, or we need to actually create the item we are going to post online, social media. So if we come up here to the top right corner and hit share, you got a couple different options. So people with access, like if you got a team, collaboration link. I'm not messing with any of those. All I do, I download everything. I think you can share directly on social media, but I don't do that either. With Canva, you can even order prints of stuff. But we're going to go to download. Because from there, you'll be able to get control of then what you do with it, what social media you post it on, who you send it to forward. And then here under downloads, you've got a couple of choices. The file extension. I don't know how familiar you are with file extensions and what you may want or not want and why. There's only two in here I concern myself with, which is this PNG. It is the default setting. And the PDF to print. Now, if I'm making a flyer to post in the neighborhood to talk about the fact that we have regularly scheduled meetings, I might make a PDF to print, and it'll create something for an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. But if I'm gonna post this on Facebook and social media, I'm gonna post it and create a PNG. And that's just those little letters at the end, .pdf, .jpeg. You can do a JPEG, but I just stick with the PNG. Parent background, I don't mess with any of this other stuff. And I just go to download and open up the folder. And there is my PNG. And from there, then now I've got control of this little flyer, and now I get to post it where I want it and go from there. Are there any questions? Sam?
Okay. It seems like that without purchasing the software for free, you can do basic design work, like what you just you demonstrated. Or do you have to purchase it eventually to do more things? Or because I like it, it's great, but I'm not gonna be, and if you're not gonna be using it all the time, but maybe once in a while, I can't see justifying purchasing something.
Some of the advantages of purchasing is like you could create your own brand, your own branding set of standards. So if you are a content creator and you've got themed color you want to produce in, like you can actually create these little packages and then use them. I actually did try paying for it just to see if it was worth it, and I did not find it to be worth any money.
I want to interrupt you a little bit here because, and Toastmasters might smack me for saying this, but Canva has a nonprofit setup. And if you go through the process of providing, if you contact, I don't remember the department at TI, they can provide you a letter that states that you're nonprofit, and then you have to attach like the 501(c), whatever that is with Toastmasters. If you go into the Canva settings, there is a nonprofit situation that you can click on and go to. And by doing that, they're going to reach out to Toastmasters International. I have it set up for 2 accounts, 2 clubs that I'm in. I have 2 different Canvas set up that are nonprofit, and it's the premier settings. It's the premier program.
So it's like Zoom. So, well,
no, Zoom gives you a discount.
Okay, well, yeah, sounds right. Yeah. right.
Yeah. It takes a little bit, because what I'm finding when I first did it, the thing is you need a club website. So that's where I use my Free Toast Host website. You have to have a club email. You really don't want to use your personal email. Set one up for your club, use that, and then you can set it up. And the neat thing about it is you can have teams. You can set up, you can give all of your officers access, and they have all the premier features without paying for it.
Wow.
I've done it twice, and it just seems like I don't say it gets challenging. It's just like TI, because they had to approve it. Because Canva uses a third-party verification service, and they will contact TI and says, who is Sam Bristol? He says he's one of your people. And then you might have to contact TI and say, hey, I'm trying to get this Canva thing. But generally it's pretty easy. So if you get those few things, I'll happily walk you through it, but you just look into the accounts and look for nonprofit. It's free for nonprofit.
Ricky,
And when you say you can't use it, I use Canva for my club. I use it to announce birthdays. I use it to announce anniversaries. You can put things up on your website. It's not something, if you had it for free, you might use it more often, but you can use it.
Rikia.
Yes.
So Hillary was saying that she uses the free version of it. What benefits have you found in using the pro version, I guess?
The pro version just has a few more graphics or a few more templates or a few more, just a little bit here and there. There's some editing features that are available under the pro that are not in the free. But there's plenty in the free. I know a lot of clubs that are using the free and doing just fine.
Okay, thank you.
I would say, Canva, I've been going to a Canva class for a long time, and it just blows my mind how much more there is to know about it, how many little cheats and tricks and all that good stuff that are available to you free.
Yeah, and today's subject matter was just enough to make it dangerous. In theory, what my hope is that you have enough information to produce a little social media square and make your club active.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
All right, well, Hillary, let's give Hillary no, let's do virtual reactions. Let's show her how good of a job she did. There we go. Great job. Let's take all the spotlights off. Okay, now we're all together. Oh. All right, well, we have I'm willing to, if you have any questions, let's take about 3 minutes and see if anybody has any specific questions about either Zoom, Canva, or Free Toast Host. Trust me, there's more to it. And I think as you provide questions for us, we will be able to answer those or address those questions or find the answers. But the other side of it is, I mentioned to David just a few minutes ago, sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So we're going to try to teach you some things here and there. Just because we play around so much, we find something cool and go, oh, I can do that. But ideally, this hopefully is going to allow you to go check out those websites, play around in your Zoom account. Even on this Zoom now, there's things you can be doing that's not going to break it. The host and the co-host have more control. I noticed just a few minutes ago, someone shared a whiteboard. That's because I don't have the feature locked down, but it pops up. You can do things that can mess up this meeting, but as a host and co-host, we can control that. So we're gonna urge you to go out on those websites, find some questions and come back and ask. But I still have giving you an opportunity to ask any questions. Any comments? The other thing I want to encourage all of us, I think, are Toastmasters. I would like to also allow this platform to give you an opportunity to give a speech yourself. If Sam learns how to make a flyer and he wants to share it, why not put that in a pathway speech and present it right here? We have enough people here to do your evaluation, and boom, you get a check mark on a speech done. So if you ever want to teach any of these social, we're covering the 3 now, but I think there's a whole lot of other options for helping to promote our clubs. So if there's something you want to teach, speech, there we go, 5 to 7 minutes or 8 to 10, whatever you want to do. We want to help you get those pathways so your speech is checked off. Again, at the end of this meeting, a survey will pop up once you hit leave. Please complete it. It might change next time. I'm just throwing out what I thought might work, might be the answers I need. Our next meeting will be the 3rd Thursday in September, which is September 19th. For my 2 assistants, for Rupesh, Hillary, and David. If you guys are comfortable sharing your emails, please put it in the chat and they can reach out to you individually, or you can reach out to me. I'll put mine in there, and or you can reply to the email that was sent to you earlier telling you what you needed to do. There's so many ways that you can reach us. David manages the District 11 website, so you can find him if you can't find any of us. Rupesh, you had your hand raised.
Yes. So I was thinking probably if we could send a Google form survey to everyone so that we can capture all the questions that they had, and also in which part of the session they had the question, so that we can get back to them instead of them reaching out to each email and asking what did this person say or what did this person teach. So they can collect back all the questions to you so that we can relay it among us.
Exactly. We've done that. We may get a more in-depth form together through Google. Because you registered, I have your emails as long as you did them right. The funny thing about Zoom is if you forget one character and send it in as an email and then you remember it and do it right the next time, we just have you twice and it'll go to you twice. So I have all of that information because you registered, and unless you cancel your registration, we will try to communicate to you that way. Maybe send you some tips and things, but please seriously feel free to go out there and explore those websites. Canva's not going to let you break it. Are there any other questions? Any requests, any special things, hot topics you want us to cover next time?
We did have one guest speaker, Sam, you might remember the name of the gal that gave the presentation on how to promote using Eventbrite. Wasn't that it? Eventbrite?
That would be a good one to cover.
Yeah, so she was really good. And we used that information to promote our open house, try and get people into our club.
Well, we will definitely include that in our list. We're also going to cover PowerPoint, because sometimes when you're giving a speech, PowerPoint is helpful. PowerPoint, I know there were several mentioned in the last couple of trainings, of EPPR trainings. There's a lot, there's so many things out there that we can be using to save some time and capture everybody. We have 3 minutes. Is there anything else anybody wants to know? Sam, unmute.
Okay, we've got to do some, again, the 100th anniversary TI is coming up. We got to be getting some, I mean, that will be our last, September will give us enough time to get some ideas. I know TI has different things going, but that's a great opportunity to promote clubs. So maybe some stuff that we can be thinking about for the 100th anniversary in October.
That's a really interesting idea. So if you take that, you know, like your background is the Toastmasters 100 years. So we know Toastmasters has these branding images out there. And so if you can find them and take them into Canva and make, again, that post square that's just showing awareness. It doesn't have to be for an event. It could be a quote, something inspirational. If I follow Toastmasters on LinkedIn, and somebody's on there is using it to make the little inspirational quotes for Toastmasters. And and that's what I enjoy seeing. So if somebody is so inclined, you know, you can really develop that into a project to create these kind of awarenesses, you know, and make them focused to your club. And again, it's letting people know, like we post our events on Facebook, and I try to tell my club members, like, if you're on Facebook, go say you're attending the event, because then the event looks popular. Because if you see it on Facebook and only 2 people have replied, you're not gonna go. So, and then between that and then just making them, you know, visually appealing and easy to understand, comprehensive.
I think it's a good opportunity to promote the 100-year. It's actually on October 22nd. We meet on Tuesday night, so, and it's actually on a Tuesday, so we're gonna take full advantage of that, of having an open house and really getting people excited and that sort of thing. So I'm super excited about it. Just becoming president on July 1st, and just excited about all the opportunities that are there with this event coming up, and rallying, you know, our VPMs and our VPPRs to work together and just build some community in our club. So.
Yep. All right. Well, going once, going twice, going 3 times. You are free to go do whatever you have planned for the rest of the evening. Thank you for coming. Hope to see you September 19th or hear from you in between that time.
Bye, guys.
Thanks all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
You're
you very
welcome.
much.
Thank you for
Appreciated.
coming. Glad you came. Oh, let me stop the recording.